Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Generation Latino podcast. My name is Paul, and I am your host. If you are new here, thank you very much for tuning in. If you are a regular listener, thank you. As I always say, like a broken record, thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. Guys, how was y'all's weekend? For me, I did my very first CrossFit competition and it was fun. I was not the happiest with how I did, how I performed with my results, but I did it. I faced my fear. I got uncomfortable and I was just very vulnerable. And if you've never done a CrossFit competition, you're competing in front of people, there's spectators, there's a lot going on at once. And it was my very first one. And, you know, I had always wanted to do one. I've been doing CrossFit since 2022. So I was a little nervous. I was anxious, but I did it. And I allowed myself a day to just be disappointed in myself and sad. I wasn't gonna be in that forever, but, I wasn't too happy. I did what I did, and I was proud that I got uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. It's something you haven't done. I think I'm always preaching, be uncomfortable and be afraid and do it anyways. So I did. I really had to, practice what I preached, but I'm very proud. I'm very proud of my team, very proud of my gym, and I'm very proud of just facing that fear and whatever the result was, I did it. And I encourage you listening to do something that makes you a little uncomfortable and makes you really push your limits, makes your mind and your brain think differently and all of that. But anyways, I hope you had a great weekend. For me, it was that, and I relaxed, hung out with friends and whatnot. I did see The Devil Wears Prada 2. That was really good. I loved it. I don't know why people are being so harsh on it, but it's a movie about fashion and about style and camp and music. So, anyways, I loved it. If you haven't seen it, you should totally check it out. But in today's episode, it's going to be a special episode. We're talking and celebrating Mother's Day, but not just in a typical way. Today, we're talking about the sacrifices, the strengths, the struggles, and the love that shaped who we are. Because for a lot of us, our mothers didn't just raise us, they carried us through life in ways that we didn't even realize until we got older. And I know for me, I am very close to my mom. She is someone that has been a light in my life for as long as I can remember. And today we're going to not just celebrate my mom, we're going to celebrate everyone's mother. So I really hope you enjoy this episode. For the women who raised us, a Mother's Day tribute. Motherhood isn't just love, it's sacrifice, resilience, and often silent struggle. I know for me, and for a lot of people out there listening, we don't really realize the sacrifices and the struggles that our mothers have to go through. But the reality is that mothers carry a lot on them, whether they're single moms, they're moms that are in relationships, marriages. A lot of things that they carry are emotional, financial, and mental load. I know for me personally, when I was younger, I didn't really realize the sacrifices that my mom made. I didn't actually realize them until I got older. Because when you're a kid, you're really just seeing life through your eyes and innocence, whatever cartoon or show that you're watching, you're kind of influenced by the culture around you. When I grew up in the 90s, it was a lot of MTV, Nickelodeon, and shows that were on at the time. And I was like, well, I want a family like that. Why don't I have that? Why don't I have the perfect, home improvement family or the what was it? Family Matters. When growing up, all I saw on TV were these like perfect families. In every episode, there was a little issue and they fixed it by the end and they were all together and mom and dad. And I was like, I want that. What the hell? And that just wasn't my reality. I grew up with a single mom, and that's what it was. And to be honest, guys, a lot of Latinos households do grow up with a single mom. And a lot of the times, moms are the backbone to the family, to everyone, and that's not easy to take on. And things that I didn't notice as a kid was the stuff that your mom has to hide from you, not in a bad way, but to protect you, whether it's from a toxic marriage, a relationship that they're in, or the struggles that they're having. You don't know that. And I didn't realize till I got older. And things that we didn't understand growing up, a lot of the times it's strictness that came from protection, it's sacrifices that we overlooked. And again, now that I'm older, I get it. And I can't be too guilty about it because I would like beat myself up. But it's hard. It's hard to understand what all moms put themselves through. And I mentioned this in a story on a TikTok, but I went to get my dog his shots, and there was a receptionist there, and I kid you not, like she had her kid with her. He was like maybe 3, 2 or 3, had her kid with her, like in the back of her, um, like by her desk, like playing with toys. And I think also too, it was like a holiday weekend, so our holiday was I think it was like not Labor Day, but anyways, it was a holiday, like a city holiday, and so he was with her at work, and then I left and I kept thinking, "Wow, like only a mother would take her child to work because she has to, because she has no other means to either pay for daycare or to have a sitter, pay for a sitter, and I saw that and I kept thinking to myself, I mean, she was on my mind because I kept thinking, man, the sacrifices that moms make to make it happen. It's not easy. And I think we often sometimes forget that mothers are human too. They also had dreams, fears, and struggles, and they have to just go past that. I talk about my grandmother all the time. She came here illegally from Mexico. She raised her kids and had a family, and I keep thinking to myself, God, only a mother would do that. Put their kids in front of them. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And I think oftentimes we all forget that our moms do make mistakes and we cannot be so hard on them. I know for me, I always joke that my mom gets the worst and the best of me because sometimes our moms see the worst in us, that they see a tyrant sometimes. And I always feel guilty every time I make my mom feel guilty or I'm upset with her. And I have to break the idea that moms have to be perfect. It's because as a little kid, as a young boy, that's all I had. I only had my mom to protect me. My father was a piece of shit. I hate to say it. He was. He didn't really help or enhance anything. So he only caused damage. So when he was out of the picture, it was just my mom and her kids. And I didn't understand that growing up, and I think what that did, and I think for a lot of you listening too, because we don't understand the sacrifices that our moms made, it creates complicated relationships. It creates relationships like, "Oh, you don't understand me. Oh, you don't get it. Oh, you don't understand. We don't see eye to eye." And I think sometimes because of our naivete, because of how young we could be, we think that our moms are just having it out for us when they're really just trying to protect us from what they went through and the struggles they had to endure. And I think sometimes we don't see that. And because of that, we often butt heads. I used to butt heads with my mom a lot when I was younger, and I used to feel misunderstood. I used to feel like she didn't understand what I was going through. I was in like my emo Evanescence era, Avril Lavigne, and no one gets me. And I was like, Paul, you're just being a brat, or you're just being so like now I see it. When I was younger, I didn't. And I think for a lot of you too, you don't understand all that your mom is really trying to make happen all at once with working. I know so many moms who work multiple jobs to make sure that their kids have what they need, who sacrifice what they're eating, sacrifice their life so that they can have a better life for their kids. We have to remember that sometimes 'cause I think sometimes we get so caught up in life that we don't realize that we're here today. A lot of us are here today because of the sacrifices our moms made, our grandmothers made, the women in our lives made. And I have always been a champion for women. I have always been someone who has really pushed women's rights forward and really speaking out loudly because I do feel that a lot of women just get overlooked. I feel like a lot of women out there just aren't heard, aren't seen. And for all the women in my life, I always tell them, you need to use your voice. Speak up. Do not be afraid. And of course, I know it's easier said than done. But I always want to remind women, hey, you're a badass. You are that bitch. You are that person who can take control. And it's funny, I mentioned I saw Devil Wears Prada too. Miranda Priestley, yes, ma'am. You fucking own that shit. And there's a quote in the movie. She's in, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but she mentioned something about the success of her career, and she's in the backseat of a car with Anne Hathaway's character, and I think it's Annie, yeah. And she's like, this wasn't easy. This was not easy for me. It's never easy. She goes, but I loved it. I loved working. And there I am crying in the theater because I think that's a lot of women. It's not easy. It's not. There's thousands of years of suppression for women. And now you finally get to that position, that level, that CEO position, that director role, and then you have to prove yourself and then you have to work even harder. But again, I think moms do not get enough credit. And I believe, while your mom is still here, that we all got to show gratitude to our moms while we still have them, if you still have them. And why we wait too long to say thank you, I don't know. I don't know. We do. We do. But I encourage you to say thank you when you can. Say I love you when you can. There's such importance of expressing love now. There really is. I've met so many people who have lost their moms and they regret so much. And for those of you who have lost your mom, acknowledge grief, honor their legacy, and just know that they lived through you. I could not imagine not being raised by a single mom. I think when I was younger, I didn't understand the power of being raised by a woman. It changed my life tremendously, being raised by a single Latina mom. I see life differently. I function differently. I have an empathy for women that I don't think I would have had I been raised by, both parents or just by a father, or I don't know. But I have a deep respect for moms. Again, while they are here, tell them you love them. Text your mom after this episode, during this episode right now, and just send them a heart emoji. For me, I try my best to take full advantage of still having my mom. So, to every mother listening, thank you for the sleepless nights, the sacrifices no one saw, and the love that never ran out. And to everyone listening, if you're lucky enough to still have your mom here, don't wait. Say thank you. Say I love you. Because one day, all we'll have left are the memories and the lessons they gave us. And I know that's kind of hard to hear sometimes, and it's even hard for me to say, but I am so thankful for my mom. I'm so thankful for the strong moms out there who continue to push forward throughout adversity. And again, I wanted to have this episode as a tribute to moms, their sacrifices, and all they do. And for all the moms out there, continue, continue, continue. But I want to thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode.